left.
No,
And
me too. I was.
Excuse me, sir. We are live in 5 seconds.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we apologize for this interruption. We were talking about digital world, and this is of course, the surprises that the digital world sometimes offer to us. So I think we go back to where we were at the moment that the communication interrupted. So we were talking about the future and the fact that anyway not everything is so negative about the impact of COVID. So we have probably a cleaner and a better planet. I don't know for how long this behavior will last. Then this is something I would like to ask to people. Do you think that this is a permanent behavior of the people, or will teach people, to be more sensitive about our planet, or do you think that it's just, an experience that will fade away?
Well, I'm a flight junkie now. No, it's 6 months I don't fly anywhere, and I was a travel addicted before. I liked it, but now I'm starting to feel a little anxious. So I think we will slowly. There is this beautiful quote from Hobsbawm, no? That to move the world, to move on the world, to move the world forward, we have to be able to forget. Otherwise, fear and scare will keep you still. So I think we will go back to the old normal, but some of the new normal will stay with us. It was not only technology, as you said before, but maybe a little deeper awareness of the consequences of our moves and choices. So hopefully some of this consciousness will be part of our tools in the future. On the other hand, I wouldn't mind, being able to go to see something I really want to see in Japan or in Brazil in the future, but maybe there will be a percentage, and some of those trips, some of those ways we do, some of that maybe can be spared on the base of this experience we're doing today. So I think some consciousness, some awareness would be a lot.
And Coran, your opinion about that?
Yes, I think our consciousness will be changed. I think the world of work will change irrevocably. The possibility of working remotely has become a reality. For many years, I've met advocates of working from home. It never really took off, but I think now this has really sealed the deal on the fact that one can work from home pretty efficiently. But that doesn't as well rule out the excitement and the serendipity of working together in the same space, which hopefully will not die.
Thomas, of course.
I'll agree with that, and in fact, also in our particular work as architects or urban planners, as you know, it's a collaborative process. It's a teamwork, and so as I was saying before it was cut, I was saying that I think there will be more consciousness about making the right choice of meeting together physically or digitally, but I think it will not avoid people from. We have to look at the way time and pace will advance on the economical impact, on the technological impact, and on the will of people, and they are all moving at different speeds. So everyone, we know that we can travel the world with a more advanced transportation, with less pollution, but this is not ready yet. So what do we do by the time? We still need to make the right choice where we need to go and to debate, to exchange our culture. And at the same time, I think also positive aspect of the digital platform, that maybe some people yesterday did not have a relative interest in culture. They will be more accessible virtually, and that may be also kind of a positive impact of bringing people to new interests that they didn't have before.
Okay, let me ask a question which is, let's say, a little bit more linked to our world of lighting. Of course, we have spoken about, the fact that there will be changes on the way that project will be designed. With this, requested interaction in museum and scenographies, of course, there will be also a requirement for a different way of illuminating the project. Do you think that there will be remarkable changes in integration of lighting in future cultural projects?
Who is answering?
Well, I always, I start from Thomas and then we go.
Well, not a technical, not a technical expert, but in terms of what we call, I always see new opportunities also, even with light. I mean, it's not a physical material we don't touch, and we're talking about something that that we may keep a few way of. I mean, not living in a touchless world, but I think the power of light and the technology of light in buildings can be further enhanced, and to make some use, to do some wayfinding, and also, I mean, for example, in the museum we're designing in Orlando, we're thinking of extending the message of the museum to a wider audience. Also, I mean, using the physical space and the power of light to touch people from a further distance, so that light can also send another message, a vertical message, for instance, in the project. So I believe in the power of human interaction, and I believe that light is playing a role. It can be a non-physical partition, can be a signal to see in the city. It can be something that to be used for communication. And in the same time, we're facing the less resources, and so there's a lot of effort, technological effort, so that this light is less consuming energy.
Thank you, Konrad. What is your opinion about the use of light in a future project?
Light has always been used in all art forms. Light is what makes photography what it is. Painters have used light to render or to tell their story. Even poets, no? I mean, Keats and Shelley, the Romantics, they use light to describe a mood. So light is an integral part of a building. We live in a world where light is changing constantly. The setting sun, the rise, dawn, light is part of our lives. So even a building itself, architecture, is rendered by light. It's just an inextricable part of what we do.
So you don't see significant changes. I did think that this is going to be always part, people of a project.
Yes, of course. Then there's the technological side of light, the use of light in a dynamic way. But for as long as these technologies will continue to be part of the architectural process.
Sure. People, what is your opinion from, the museum?
I think light is one of the tools. It's one of the material for architecture and for exhibitions. So I think it's mostly about subjectivity. It's one of the platforms for negotiations between the curators, the architects, the preservationists, the registrar, the different professionals that collaborate to create a museum space. So I don't like the idea of like an objective or a shared approach to this light. I think it's mostly subjective, and it's one of the materials we use. If you want something more objective in relation to the changes that are taking place in our spaces, I think this has to be looked for more in like workspaces. Now, workspaces maybe will be more directly and consistently affected by the post-pandemic thing, and maybe the way you manage light in these spaces can be theorized in a way or another. In museums, I think it's a material, is a tool, it's a platform to meet different ideas and things. So we will have a million different solutions to the lighting problem in the future.
Of course, lighting is becoming much more flexible, much more controllable, and that will help, of course, to become also a better vehicle also in museum projects. Pippo, Thomas told us about something exciting that's coming up for their offices in Orlando. Is there something that you can tell the audience, something exciting about your work for the future? What's coming up that you're looking forward to?
Actually, Maxi is a hyper-productive museums with like 30 exhibitions a year. So, but I mean, the one thing that may have some relations to what we're talking about today is a big show we're preparing for the end of next year on the evolution of the concept of engineering. Engineering in the 20th century was about construction, mainly about construction. So we will, I mean, even founding on our archives, which involve Nervi, Musumeci, and other wonderful engineers of the 20th century, we will tell stories about the construction engineering. But on the other side, we will investigating the role of engineering in the future, which will have to do a lot with technology, AI, robotics, environmental sciences, and all these things. Architecture is dangerously attracted to and has to go, but also has to be aware of its own focus and role. So this show, which is now called Technotopia, and I'm not sure this will be the final title, will be a big focus in our future.
Great. We look forward to that, and we'll make sure that I'll be there the first time that I'm in Rome.
Yeah.
And Conrad, what about you? What about your practice? Something exciting coming up that we should be looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to seeing these tapestries I mentioned to you, the 29 of them, all together, and to try and recreate the sensation that people must have had when they went to the church, when they went to the cathedral. We mustn't forget that they didn't have the images that we have today. And there in front of their eyes was this magnificent collection of woven surfaces using silk and of gold and silver, designed by Pietro Rubens together with Isabella d'Infant of Spain way back in the 17th century. And yes, I'm sincerely looking forward to seeing that put together.
Thank you. Thomas, something else in addition to the Orlando Museum that we should keep in mind?
When we were talking, and it's linked to that debate, I was thinking about the Venice Biennale of Architecture, which have been missing that's been postponed for 2 times, and we were selected to do an exhibition during included in the exhibition for this next upcoming Biennale. And it raises all the question of this beautiful ancient city that people love, and are we able to travel there? When we are there, you're always questioning of the level of the water, and everything is on the table. And at the same time, I was supposed to showcase some projects that we are working on, which one of them is it's called Tropicalia. It's tropical domes that we are going to build. That is going to be starting. And it's an experience for visitors with fauna and flora, and also an innovative technology of how to build a shell. We call the exhibition Domus. Actually, how can we live together under one roof, and how can we share resources, and actually using technology, but also technology such as sun and the power of sun to heat a building, or the power of cooling down a building, is a very interesting topic that I would have liked to share, and I hope I will be sharing it in a few months in Venice.
We look forward to that. Hopefully we will be able to go back to Venice for the Biennale this year, because I agree with you, we're missing it. So yeah. We definitely want to go back, hopefully this year. Okay, so I would like to conclude, and of course, thanking everybody for the participation. I would like to conclude starting from people with, let's say, as a wrap up, a final thought or message that you want to share with the audience that will, bring some positive message to them for the future.
I don't know, I was asked by Architectural Review to write a letter to young architects. My letter was about the need to go see buildings. So let's be ready when the time comes, when the chance will be to experience the space, to see buildings, to incorporate this experience in what we do, although because we cannot think of architecture only as entertainment, curatorial, theoretical discussion, or we need to experience space to go back to this beautiful experience as soon as it will be possible.
Thank you. This is a very nice message, and we all cross finger, keep finger crossed that everything can move in that direction. Thank you. Pippo, Conrad, your message to the world?
Well, during the isolation period, I had the opportunity to walk around the city, and it's amazing how many things you discover that you don't normally see because the pace of our lives is so fast. And it was really fascinating to discover Malta as a place which is like a blend of cultures. The Knights of the Order of St. John came to Malta with their architects and their chefs and tailors, and it was really fascinating to walk down the streets and turn a corner and I was in Rome, and then turn a corner and I was in Paris, and turn a corner and I was in Naples. It was these sort of things that you don't normally do when the pace of life is so fast. So sometimes it's not a bad thing to slow down and to look a bit more closely around you.
Thank you very much. And I leave it to Thomas to conclude with his message.
Yeah, so I think it's a very interesting time. Let's stay optimistic. I would say architects have to face new complexities, and we are dealing with, such as anxiety for the resources of the planet that were there before COVID, but are now more and more impacting our behaviors, and also trying to find a way to adapt existing buildings that are less and less adapted to climate change and contemporary use. So I believe that I would say that the power of creativity, and that we should always stay optimistic. That even so we go through a bad times sometimes, and after the storm comes the sun again.
That's great. So that's a very optimistic message. I think that after 2020. When this year will be over, probably will be more optimistic, because worse than this, I think it can go. And so I thank you very much I thank you, Thomas, Conrad, Pippo, for your participation. Thank you to the audience that has had the patience to listen. And I just remind you that the next Designing the Future initiative will be in 2 weeks. The subject will be landscape and urban planning. So we're going to have, again, 3 very interesting speakers from this world. And again, thank you very much on behalf of Delta Light and on behalf of our guest. And see you next time. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.